أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I seek refuge in Allah from the cursed shaitan. In the name of Allah, most beneficent, most merciful. Welcome to Islamic Action TV, another power-packed show that's bringing you the truth, bringing you education, and also entertaining you. So in that way, you can get to understand, by the grace of Allah, what we're trying to say in Islamic Action. Remember, this is Gorilla Money Productions. My name is Mohammed Solomon. And do not go away, because for the next couple of minutes, we believe that this can be an eye-opener and maybe turn your life around. And today I'm joined with obviously my beautiful, beautiful brother. Introduce yourself, Ak.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Well, today we're going to be chopping up some more information as we usually do. And there's so many things that's happening to the Ummah in today's world. And we talk about this a lot, that we believe there's a silent majority of Muslims around the globe who are not happy with the existing way that Islam is portrayed, particularly in terms of how some of these scholars for dollars, some of these so-called preachers, some of these so-called imams are making Islam look ugly in the public perception. And maybe it's time for a change now. Maybe there is a new paradigm shift coming along where we now as individuals got to take back the power in ourselves and begin to have that relationship one-on-one with the Quran, with Islam, with our deen, and not necessarily do this thing where we're looking at other people to do for us what we should be doing for ourselves. So, I mean, what do you think about that, Simon? Because obviously with this new Muslim revert agenda that's now kind of rearing its ugly head.
Yeah. Well, we've had long discussions already about this word revert and the role of new Muslims in the society and the Ummah. You know, it's an ongoing issue. It's not going to go away, and it's something we need to pick up. I was invited recently to a discussion group about, well, reverts, the roles of reverts in the community, and if I can just read out what the invite said. The MSC Revert Support Services cordially invite you to join us at what will inshallah be a very diverse and vibrant event, welcoming both new Muslims and born Muslims from all across the UK, with the intention of building unity, a better understanding of each other, and to bridge many gaps. The initiative is to unite new Muslims from all different kinds of backgrounds, cultures, gender, ages and race, to network, socialise and voice out ongoing issues and challenges that are still faced. Now, obviously, all that sounds very noble.
It does sound very noble, yes.
And quite inviting and empowering. Mm-hmm. But what I think you have to do is try and break it down a bit. I'm not dissing anybody in particular by doing this. I'm just sort of pointing out certain problems with the way this issue has been presented, which I need just exploring a bit. Mm-hmm. First of all, the word revert support services. Sounds a bit like the St John Ambulance, doesn't it?
Disabilities. You know,
I'm just unsure where that's coming from.
It's just almost like this broken Muslim thing, you know, like you come to Islam but you're broken, you're disjointed, you're not fully together, you know, like, so like if we was applying for a job, we'd have to tick off disability or mobility issues. It's something,
declare your status. Are you a disabled, a non-disabled, revert Muslim, Muslim? It's one of those categories you're expected to put yourself in.
But I'm wondering, where does that mindset come from? Is it from the heritage Muslims, or is it, or is it something that the heritage, that the society we're in has made the heritage Muslims feel, okay, we have to categorize people, you know, who've accepted their own fitra, their own, you know, their own natural inclination to be Muslim?
Well, it can't be the new Muslims themselves want to describe themselves. It must be imposed from outside. Mm-hmm. Then these support services come along. I mean, education, fine. Information, fine.
Cool. Yeah,
no problem with that.
Yeah.
But since when has it become necessary to have support? Do new Muslims need support?
I don't know. I mean, what, you know, something like, for example, like we may have issues around housing, homelessness, drugs, abuse, alcoholism. Like, you know, it's like all Muslims are coming from a place of disadvantage, disenfranchisement, and disharmony and discord, and every other D word I can think of at the moment. But it's like there's something pernicious and insidious about it.
Yeah. It's like the sort of the medieval, concept of a sanctuary. You know, people used to bang on the door of the cathedral to be allowed sanctuary, to be letting the poor.
Or you'd be like Quasimodo.
The way
sanctuary! Sanctuary, Esmeralda! I need sanctuary!
But
so we're all deformed like Quasimodo, right? All the reverts are deformed and twisted and malformed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably been burned as witches back in the day, won't we?
Okay, but even assuming you have like youngsters who have just recently discovered the Deen, who aren't sort of mature in their outlook, who haven't got the necessary life skills, or you've been in prison for most of your life and you happen to have found the Quran while you're in prison. Nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
That those things happen.
Yes.
But then it excludes the likes of people like you and me.
Yes.
Who are sort of professionals who've gone many years, sort of living their lives the way we have.
Yes.
We're then either we subscribe to the idea that we're broken people and we need support, or we feel outside of it. So
you're almost castigated on the outside.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just this. I agree with you because you mentioned the fact that obviously we're
so we're like square pegs trying to get into a round hole.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the way we should.
So you're already categorising people. You're already creating othering now. There's a form of othering again here. Like you come from othering in society where you want to be complete and whole in the Deen, but then in the Deen now, categorizations, classifications, a bit like the Third Reich. You know, you're beginning to define people from some bureaucratic system. You know, and I think even touching on what you said there about come together of every gender and every race, and
Well, I'll just read it up a bit. As I said, I was just going to pick on a few words, but it said the intention of building unity, a better understanding of each other, and to bridge many gaps.
Yeah.
Again, it's something I have a great problem with. Is though as a new Muslim, you haven't formed the bridge in the first place.
Yeah, assuming these assumptions, yeah.
Yeah, there's assumptions about you which suggest you're a misfit, basically.
Yeah, a ghoul.
You're by nature a misfit. You're by inclination disassociated with these people.
Yes.
And that you need extra support to enable you to get there. Even though, you may have become Muslim because of a heritage Muslim in the first place.
Exactly.
Through whether it was a fellow Caribbean, an Arab,
exactly, a
or
Persian,
Pakistani, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You've joined Islam because you've formed those links already. You've seen past the colour, you've seen past the race.
Exactly.
And you've been attracted by the beauty of the religion.
Yes.
So to then say, oh no, you need to build bridges, we need unity, has me sort of wondering to myself, okay, but how does that apply to me? Does it apply to me?
Yes.
Am I really part of this?
What?
So it's like, as you say, it's almost a form of eugenics, if you like.
It is some of apartheid.
Yeah.
Some type of apartheid. Yeah, it is. It is. And I'm wondering where it's coming from. We're born in this country. We're in the UK, if you're not aware. And we grew up in the same community. I mean, Simon and I, maybe from different parts of England, but we have a shared heritage by being British, by watching the same TV programs, maybe liking the same sports, whether it's football or cricket, whatever. We have common links that bind us. This insidious assumption that they may become Muslim, he's completely don't know, I don't know where Manchester is, or I don't know where Leeds is, I don't know where that is anymore, I don't know this guy, he's completely a stranger to me. It's ridiculous. It's a joke. It's loony. It's crazy. This is not how Muslim is supposed to be. I'm sorry. I believe these issues affect more the people who are Persian, who are Iranian, who are Arab. If you come from extremely different cultures and you come to England and you want to mix in the Islamic centre in England, which is an Iranian-run centre, clearly the Iranian-run centre will have to put on things to help you out, like maybe certain tea you might like, certain ways of cultural things, because they've got massively different cultural identities. But your so-called born Muslim, all these ridiculous terms they give us, yeah, they're not going to have those issues. We speak the same language. We got the same culture. We go to the same shops.
I don't need support in terms of eating baklava or eating Iranian kebab.
You sure? You haven't got a prosthetic arm or something? As a reaver?
It's like sort of teacher being taught your table manners, isn't it? When you go into sort of a stately home and you at the Lord's table,
the silverware.
You need to start your cutlery from the outside and work your way in. Remember to put your finger in there.
Put a little finger in here, yeah. It's insulting. It's patronising. This shows me again that they've lost the plot. These people, these communities...
Stop there. But where's it coming from then? Where do we think this...
I think
this concept that we need support, that we're broken Muslims. Where's it coming from?
I think it's coming from people who want to feel superior. I think what it is possibly, and I'm only pushing the boat out here, maybe because of kind of neo-colonialization, a lot of these communities that have come to England who are under colonial systems, and when they come now, in a way, because now the children of the ex-colonials or the communities are coming to them, they now got the upper hand. They now want to exercise power because maybe they feel important, but they want to feel important. So what they're doing is, they're now exercising their goals, exorcising the goals, but then exercising at the same time a type of colonialism, a different level of colonialism, in which all the stereotypes that was put on them as being broken, needed education, needed to be civilized because they're primitive, they're now putting that on us.
Yeah.
And I think, particularly if you're black as well, you get it doubly.
Yeah, so it's a bit like African colonialism, isn't it?
Yes.
So the whites go.
Yes, exactly. So your white revert has a different level, but your black revert has a worse level. And I think that this is coming from a place of insecurity among the Muslims, and it's coming from a place of we haven't got a clue how really to address. We're from another country. We're in this country. People from the country we ran to, who's the host country, is now looking to us for understanding and education. We don't know how the heck to do that. So we'll come with all these backward stereotypical views and say they need help on this and they need help on that. When really and truly, they don't even need us. All they want is access to the education, but they don't need us. We can't offer them anything really. That's what I think. That's what I think.
I believe we might have a question for us on this topic.
Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, brothers. Bilal Ali Hugh. Working production today, but as usual, always a pleasure, brothers. Keeping that Islamic game up crispy, keeping it really tight, keeping it tight and sharp. The analysis is beautiful. So I've got a question. It's in line with what you're speaking about. I want to understand it from a point of almost like NLP or that type of psychology. Like, why are quote unquote reverts framed as broken? Like, it's a quite interesting concept. Like the assumption that you need this healing or this repair, but not just that you need this healing or this repair, but there's a kind of assumption that the established communities not just have the responsibility, but have the ability, that are the institutions, from what we see out there then, let's put it this way, let me cut to the chase. The institutions in the high street, if I can use that frame, have they shown any kind of track record? We'll take the last 10, 15 years as a kind of anecdotal basis for a study, right? Is there any evidence to suggest that they know how to address people that come to religion in any kind of effective way? What say you?
High street institutions meaning?
Like the master centres, the imam boroughs, the locals, the blah blah blah. Let's just talk London wide. Like, is there anything that we've seen in any? We don't have to name institutions, but is there anything that we've seen when we can say, aha, that was revolutionary, that was dynamic, that was transformative, or is it just business as usual? Well, any evidence that they can serve or inspire or be a catalyst for people coming to the religion to transform themselves or help to transform the society?
It's it's.
Or is it a culture club?
I think so. I've often described it as a bit like Masonic Shiism. So you have this idea that it's a closed shop that you have to get into. So you serve this period of quarantine, and eventually you get admitted to the inner sanctum.
Ah, so you're an apprentice, apprentice Muslim. And
exactly.
then you get a master, you get the handshake, you get the right handshake, and then you are brought into the inner circle.
That's the only way I can understand this idea of being broken, we need to be united, need of support. Is to put you in a position where you feel needy. Even if you're somebody like us, you say, well, what are my needs? Do I have needs? You begin to doubt whether you doubt your history, you doubt where you came from. So you create this neediness, and then once you've been sort of disassembled in that way, then you can be allowed into this closed shop. Okay. So there's very little coming the other way. There's very little sign that the high street institutions, as you call them, that are actually reaching out. We're expected to reach in. They stay where they are, and we actually go in. That's the direction of travel.
I totally agree with what Sam just said. If I can just touch on that a bit more, I believe that it's a form of brainwashing. I believe that what it is that they convince you through NLP that there's something wrong with you, neuro-linguistic programming, that there's something wrong. It's like an advertisement continually tells you that you're inferior, inadequate, and unless you buy this product, you will never feel good about yourself. So they attack your self-consciousness, they attack your positivity, and they want to disempower you. So they want to break you down, as you do in brainwashing, and rebuild that person in the image that's suitable to them. These were people that I believe just push an external, mechanical, dry, defunct form of Islam. And in order for them to trick you, to make you think that it's an internal, well-oiled machine, it's a joke. They're just like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain. It's a farce. It's a joke. They've bamboozled you. They've led you astray. They've made you run amok. It's a joke. They don't really have the answers, but they have to convince you that they do. Many times, people like myself and Simon were much more intelligent than them, or not intelligent, but scholarly, academic. But you're going to have some man from some village in an Asian country who, because he's now called an imam, he can't read or write. It's not literate in any way. He's not scholarly. He's not read any books that extend his acumen. But somehow, because he has given ajaza and he's been told, we're told he's some scholar over us, you know what I mean? Somehow he's got this power over us. So I believe it's a big con game. The whole thing's a con game. It's a form of brainwashing. It's a form of making you feel inferior so they can feel superior over you and can maintain the dry, outmoded, stale, defunct and cracking up version of Islam that we see now that is falling apart. And we see people now moving towards the type of understanding of Islam that we are espousing here on this channel.
Wow. All right, let me try and build a question from that, or in line with that trajectory of reasoning. I'd like to say, I think they possibly mean well. We're going to assume there is a good intention behind it, but ultimately, is it just a turkey shoot? Is it an industry? Is there a revert industry? Is there a revert business? Create a need, somebody fills that need. Unconsciously doing it, but is that possible that something of that nature is taking place?
I'm not sure about calling it an industry, because that would suggest that, as I just said, that the people are going out there actually
being industrious.
Yeah, industriously begin reverts. It's just putting your fishing line out there and seeing what comes along, seeing what what's pulled
powerful
in,
powerful
rather than going out deep sea fishing, fleshing out the net. It's reactive and say okay, and then what I'd call it a revert process. There's, if you catch that revert on the end of your line, there's the process you've got to go through to bring them in, or to try and bring them in. Mm-hmm. Which is along the lines of what I've just been saying. So you try and disempower them, you neuter them in effect, and bring them along to your way of thinking.
I would agree. I think I would call it almost grooming, Islamic grooming. If you meet somebody who is vulnerable only because they've accepted the Islam, their natural fitra, but what you do is you push an idea that okay, there's something wrong with you. You have to. The whole point is you have to have this damaged person. It has to be I'm fixing you. That's how it works. You're damaged and I'm fixing you. And then the abuse begins. Then the damage begins. Yeah. So this kind of talk that we see regularly happens every year. I've been Muslim for well over nearly 13 years.
Is it seasonal?
It's seasonal. Every so often, certain people brought over from these countries to justify their position. So they call them the revert scholar or the revert imam or the person that deals with the revert case, because the word revert again is another anomaly that doesn't exist within Islamic history or Islamic text or Islamic literature. It's a non-word. It's a straw man. But certain people need to find jobs off of that, so they give them work on another one of these meetings that they put on. That's going to be okay. What was this, Simon? It's going to be another very enlightening. So a lot of issues came up, stuff that we can take forward to the next meeting. Very important that we make notes. Everybody, blah, 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 blah. The same thing they said last year, the same they said the year before, and the year before, and the year before. A talking shop. That's all it is. To justify, and obviously, it makes the British government or people from the government think, oh, these people are trying to integrate. This community is trying to integrate. So look how good these particular Islamic centres doing, inviting people of different genders and that. but they just it's show. They don't really care about it. It's just to make them look good, to get money, charity, whatever, and to make the maybe people back home in the country they're from because they're doing their work over there. They're helping to spread the demon.
Turkey shoot then.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, photo
so it's a
photo op.
It's kissing babies, you know. But you hate babies, you know. So and the thing is, they actually got the audacity, the pugnacity, the sagacity,
the bodaciousness,
the audacity to think that I'm not gonna fall for it. That we can't see through this their lies, their paper thin narrative. It's pathetic. And then they invite the odd white doctorate Muslim so-called revert to give it a shine and a polish. But it's the same old worn out, hackneyed rubbish that they're always going to put out. And I guarantee they're going to have another meeting about another meeting and another meeting because they're not solving the issue and they've got no solutions. They're defunct and they're devoid of solutions.
Wow. As we approach the end, man, I just got to say, wow, you brothers really went in deep. Sound like you're saying almost taking a chamois to polish a rusty machine. Yes. I'm going to hand it over to you to close out, brothers. It's been great.
Well, we'll carry on keeping it real, bro.
That's right.
Yeah, just keep putting out the message and
Mashallah.
see what comes out.
Alhamdulillah, Brother Simon, yes. Well, he's hit the nail on the head. That's what it's about. Just putting out the message, putting out the truth, isn't it? You know, we get no reward for this, but our reward is with Allah. You know, we don't ask for nothing, but the love that we feel we want to share with you, and the love for the Ahlul Bayt, and the fact that, you know, at the end of the day, is that it's about you having critical thinking for yourself, and opening your ears for yourself and seeing for yourself by the grace of Allah. So on that note, this is Muhammad Solomon signing off until we see you again by the grace of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Peace.